Do you understand the importance of keeping silent? Are you aware of how many people have ruined their lives, their futures, their opportunities, or their dreams simply because they didn't know when to keep quiet? There are those who get overly excited when happy, spilling all their plans and sharing every detail of their lives, only to be confounded when things go awry. Then there are those who lose their cool in a moment of anger and frustration, saying things they shouldn't. The key to changing this is learning to keep your mouth shut. Zeno of Citium, the founder of Stoicism, said we have 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. We should listen twice as much as we speak. In today's video, we'll explore practices that will help you grow in silence. But first, let me tell you, this video reached you because someone before you subscribed to our channel, liked, and left a comment. So, do the same and keep this chain going. Learn to keep quiet from the moment we are born. We are encouraged to express ourselves, and our first words are celebrated by our parents or those who take responsibility for us. However, seldom in life do we learn that silence is also a powerful form of communication. Being silent can reveal a lot about you, your intentions, and your personality, showing respect for people and the environment. It can attract more attention than speaking incessantly or trying to convince someone who doesn't want to listen. When you talk too much, especially without purpose or clarity, you diminish your power. Instead of conveying authority and mastery of the subject, you achieve the opposite effect, leading others to respect you less and devalue you. Replacing the desire to speak with the desire to listen is the key to your personal growth. In our social relations, we can apply the Stoic virtues of temperance and wisdom to improve and minimize many of our relationship issues. Consider the case of Carlos and Alex, both salespeople with different approaches. One talks incessantly, and the other prefers to listen more. When a customer enters the store, Carlos immediately attends to them and offers discounts the customer didn't ask for, resulting in lower commission for Carlos. Often, the customer didn't want a discount and was ready to buy, but Carlos talks so much that he ends up making the customer back out of the purchase. Alex, on the other hand, knows how to sell more and earn more. He also attends to customers quickly but does so differently. He listens more and speaks at the right moment. Alex asks smart questions to find out what the customer really needs, enabling him to sell what the customer wants and close many deals. As a salesperson, the secret is to speak less and listen more to what the customer wants to hear. Listening more than speaking not only benefits sales but can also be applied to other aspects of our life. A simple exercise for you to reflect on today: remember 3 things you lost in life because you didn't keep quiet, because you could have stayed silent but failed to restrain yourself. Just as one develops the habit of talking too much and being a compulsive talker, one can develop the habit of learning to listen by speaking less. Stoicism teaches us self-development and mental training so that we can listen twice as much as we speak. To achieve this, you need to be aware that the more you talk, the more you weaken yourself, the more you listen, the more you strengthen yourself. For instance, if Carlos practiced temperance, he wouldn't immediately offer discounts. He would learn to wait a bit to see what the customer truly wants before speaking. Temperance is like having a remote control for our reactions. It tells us not to go to extremes, neither in speaking too much nor acting impulsively. Wisdom, on the other hand, is like having a map that shows us the best path to follow. It helps us understand when and how to act or speak. Alex is already riding this wave. He listens to the customer, asks smart questions, and only then offers what the customer needs. He uses wisdom to know the right moment to speak. A practical exercise we can do to help us speak less and exercise temperance and wisdom is anchoring. Anchoring is a powerful technique to create and strengthen mental associations between external stimuli and internal responses. For example, if someone is afraid of cockroaches, just hearing the word can terrify and distress them. This is because they have created, through the word, a feeling of horror. The same goes for positive things. Think of chocolate. If you like it, your mouth might have watered just now. This can help us create mental associations that encourage silence. Start by choosing an anchor, whether it's a physical object like a wristband or setting your phone's wallpaper to speak less. Every time you check your phone or look at that wristband, you establish a connection between the anchor and a feeling of silence. In this way, you train your brain to associate this stimulus with a state of calm and silence. Do this multiple times to get the hang of it. Then, when you're in a conversation and feel the urge to talk too much, use your reminder. This will help you to stop, breathe, and choose to listen instead of speak. Remembering that silence is a powerful form of communication can transform how you interact with others. By improving your listening, you may discover that speaking less makes your words carry more weight and impact when you choose to use. Join our Stoicist journey at Buy Me a Coffee. Support with a donation or as a member and have a voice in our community. Every coffee fuels our mission to share wisdom. Be our pillar, make a difference today, use them. You'll be surprised that the more you listen, the more you can learn and genuinely connect with others. Always remember this: silence is your first language. Learn to master it. Do not share your plans. Sit down, let me tell you about my project. Buddy, I'm almost decided to start this and that. It's not 100% confirmed yet, but I'll share it with you. Sharing your dreams and projects before making them a reality can seem like a way to seek support and motivation, but it often backfires. Psychologists have discovered over time that people who like to talk a lot about their plans before acting are the ones who accomplish the least. Those who announce their plans to start their own business, change habits, write a book, or get a new job often end up stuck in life for a long time without progressing or accomplishing what they talked about. This is because when we share our goals, our brain releases a satisfaction hormone, and we feel as good as if we had actually accomplished them. This can decrease your motivation to really go after them and make them happen. If you want to achieve your goals, keep them to yourself and focus on taking the first step towards realizing them. Moreover, Marcus Aurelius, one of the most famous Roman emperors and a Stoic philosopher, warned us that when we trust someone without first knowing if that person is trustworthy, the mistake of naivety is ours. Sometimes, when we share our plans, even unintentionally, people can sabotage us. They might criticize or discourage your ideas, underestimate your abilities, or cruelly point out all your flaws. This often leads us to doubt ourselves, and we easily swap our plans and projects for others' negative opinions. Understand that you cannot grow anywhere in the world without being disliked by those who are stagnant. When you keep silent, people won't know your next steps, and no one can sabotage what they don't know exists. Seneca, a Stoic philosopher and statesman, wrote in his letters about friendship and the importance of carefully choosing whom to trust with your dreams. A true friend, according to him, is someone who sincerely roots for your success and with whom you can share your plans without fear. Not everyone, sometimes even those closest to us, is like this. Hence, the importance of not falling into the trap of naivety and learning to evaluate the character of those who are trustworthy. It's wonderful to share when something good happens to us or when we realize a dream. However, it's necessary to understand to whom and when you can do this. Your victories will speak for themselves once achieved, and then everyone will know. Therefore, choose to share your dreams only with those who truly support and encourage you to go beyond. Keep your counsel. Stoicism offers a valuable perspective, teaching us to expand our vision beyond our own viewpoints and consider life in different ways. One of the most liberating lessons of Stoicism is the ability to choose not to express our opinions, to shield ourselves from the tyranny of response. We are often prompted to give our opinions on matters that circulate on the internet, with questions like, "Who do you think will win Big Brother this year?" or "What do you think about the artist who paraded at Carnival?" Stoicism teaches us a powerful alternative: silence or the conscious choice not to form an opinion on these matters. As Emperor Marcus Aurelius reminds us in Meditations, every minute spent minding someone else's business is a minute less devoted to our own life and moral development. This philosophy can be applied not only to superficial discussions but also in interactions with our closest circle of acquaintances. Whenever you offer unsolicited opinions on your brother's life, the car your neighbor bought, which, in your opinion, should have been another color, or the way your nephew is raised, you're engaging in issues beyond your control. Stoicism invites us to focus on our own lives, suggesting that if we have extra time and energy, we should use it to help others, not to harshly judge them. This approach not only helps us cultivate a richer and more peaceful inner life but also teaches us to value positive action over empty criticism, promoting a supportive and mutually growth-oriented environment. When we realize we can control our opinions, we understand we can control what we say. Practice the skill of thinking absolutely nothing about a certain situation and embrace the freedom that you don't need to have an opinion on everything happening around you and nor feel disturbed by these events. As Marcus Aurelius's words affirm, we have the power to have no opinion about something and not let our soul be disturbed, for things do not have the natural power to shape our judgments. Limit the access of meddlers. Rarely do nosy people ask if we want or need their opinions, they just express them. They tend to speak their minds without much thought or reflection, and when confronted, justify their behavior by claiming to be sincere and honest. Victor Hugo, a French poet and novelist, once wrote that frankness does not consist of saying everything you think, but in thinking about everything you are going to say. Being honest and frank has nothing to do with disrespect. Therefore, it is essential to establish clear boundaries in our relationships. Speaking without thinking often leads to saying what should not be said, to whom it should not be said, at inappropriate times and places, and especially about matters that should not be discussed. Waiting passively for someone to recognize and respect your personal boundaries without clearly communicating them can be an endless wait and may not succeed. It is up to you to establish these boundaries in a polite and respectful manner. Epictetus, one of the great Stoic philosophers, offered wise advice that perfectly applies to situations like this. Speaking to a student who was having trouble due to his brother's behavior, he advised, "Everything has two handles, one by which it can be carried, and one by which it cannot." This means that while we cannot control others' behavior, we can choose how to respond to that behavior. When someone meddles too much in your life or says things they shouldn't, you cannot control what that person does, but you can control how you respond. One approach can be to talk privately with the person, being honest and stating that you do not like and do not accept this type of behavior because it affects the relationship between you and could lead to distancing in the friendship. This stance not only helps protect your personal space but also teaches others how to interact with you in a respectful and considerate manner. Establishing boundaries is an act of self-respect and a way to cultivate healthier and more balanced relationships. We must recognize that there is a limit that we must endure and remain true to it. Epictetus also makes a comparison about smoke in a house, saying, "If someone makes smoke in the house, if he does a moderate amount of smoke, I stay, if it is too much, I leave." If you act this way, this is the moment to review this attitude and invest your time in your own development. You don't need to justify yourself. Silence carries such profound wisdom that at certain moments, it becomes the best response. Sometimes we feel the need to explain ourselves, whether to seek acceptance, to please, or to create bonds with others. However, many problems in our lives are indeed caused by ourselves, by not keeping our mouths shut. An example of this is Vanessa, who after a period of facing debts and financial problems, dedicated herself to learning about financial education, managed to pay what she owed, organize her finances, and even start investing. After a month-end closing, she went out with colleagues and shared that she was finally financially stable and free of debts. Things began to change for her. Over time, Vanessa realized that she was being left out of new projects, with her colleagues assuming she was in a better financial situation and therefore directing work opportunities that would have been hers to someone else. In other words, Vanessa's oversharing led to her losing several jobs and consequently affecting her newly acquired financial stability. Sometimes we want to show others how we are living and talk without thinking about our financial life, our intimate life as a couple, what happens between four walls. We want to show the world how well and happy we are, or the opposite, because we are sad and dissatisfied. Epictetus said, "If you drink water, do not say everywhere that you drink water." This means that it is not necessary to talk about everything we do in life to others. The idea is that we should live simply and truly, without needing the approval or recognition of others. In this vein, Epictetus teaches us the importance of keeping some things to ourselves and not sharing every detail of our lives, showing that being discreet and holding certain choices close can be a way to strengthen our character. You don't always need to explain your actions. Sometimes, remaining silent is the best response. Neither speaking too little nor too much is ideal, balance is key. Speaking too little can close doors, as people might think you're uninterested or disengaged. Conversely, speaking too much can make someone tiresome and even lead to unwanted situations, as with Vanessa's case. Thus, finding the middle ground is crucial. It's important to know when to speak and when to maintain silence, balancing our desire to express ourselves with the wisdom of keeping certain things to ourselves. This helps us build healthy relationships and avoid unnecessary problems. Don't speak when emotional. There's a lesser-known story about Plato where, facing a situation that made him very angry, he realized he was so emotional that he wouldn't be able to deal with the problem fairly. So, he asked his servant to handle the issue. This moment shows that even a great philosopher like Plato knew the importance of controlling emotions to make correct decisions. If you don't control your silence, you'll be a slave to your words. Some people, when happy, talk too much and reveal plans that should have been kept until they happen, or until the moment nothing else can go wrong, or they make promises they can't keep. Others talk too much when angry, and it's in these moments that most people can't control their tongue, ending up saying things that hurt. Understand, a spoken word cannot be taken back, and sometimes the wounds it causes are immense. Even in an argument, if someone hurts you, it's better to leave the other side regretting than hurt, because expressing all your anger to harm the other will not heal your wound, it will only deepen it. When you choose silence, it's important to understand it as a valuable moment to absorb information and organize your thoughts before responding. Some experiences and feelings are to be processed internally, not expressed impulsively. Silence is a powerful tool. It provides space to absorb information, reflect, and organize thoughts before expressing them. Staying silent allows for clearer thinking, free from the internal noise that comes with the constant urge to speak. Thus, by choosing silence in moments of strong emotion, you gain time to calmly evaluate the situation and respond in a more considered and effective manner. Do I really want to hurt someone I love? Can I fulfill what I am committing to do? Emotion can be seen as a drug that affects our ability to reason, in both negative and positive moments. Without self-control, we wander completely altered by our emotions, yielding to all our emotional impulses. Practicing silence provides the means to understand our own thoughts and emotions, leading to greater personal and spiritual growth. Growing in silence using Stoicism is a journey of self-improvement that teaches us the value of keeping quiet, listening more, and deeply reflecting before acting. I confess this is one of the most challenging Stoic practices for me, but the size of the challenge also represents the benefit it brings to our lives. I've lost many things in life by simply not knowing when to keep quiet, so I sincerely hope this video and historical knowledge bring this practice into your life.